Men are, without a doubt, happier than women. There are certainly a lot of depressed men. Additionally, there are those ladies who are genuinely happy in the world. Here we're not referring to the exceptions. The saying goes that the exception never becomes the rule. When it comes to individual happiness, the average man is happier than the average woman. If anyone has any doubts, they only need to consider how many more women than men use antidepressants. According to surveys, 1 in 4 women takes antidepressants, compared to 1 in 10 men. Whichever study you believe in for men, the findings are consistent across the board. Antidepressants and anxiety drugs are used by women at higher rates than by males. Men are happier than women, which is a straightforward explanation for this. Thus, the topic of why men are generally happier than women is being raised. I'm going to talk about the reasons why men are happier than women. This topic will be in 2 parts. Moving on. Our primes are substantially longer, which is the primary factor in men being happy than women. With a few years in each direction, women are most attractive between the ages of 18 and 28 roughly. A woman could date virtually any man she desired throughout that decade, either sexually or romantically. Now a woman can obtain consideration, cash, supplies, and sausage from nearly any man she chooses during this period. The majority of men will pay her attention if she just shows there and puts herself on a platter in some way, shape, or form, whether it be by simply accompanying her body or by offering them intimate favors and so on. Most men will give her that commitment and give her that sausage, generally speaking. Women cherish and desire intimate attention beyond everything else, despite what they may tell you or others. They won't acknowledge it. They need and want this the most. Their requirement for reproductive care is essential for reproduction, biologically speaking. The ideal moment in a woman's life, especially for attractive women, is during those 10 years when she has complete control over men. As between the ages of 30 and 55, males are at their most attractive, and occasionally even longer. We enjoy our prime years for at least 15 years longer than women do. But that's merely the height of our fertile years. Remember, we may still have a lot of action in our 20s. When we reach 30, we have a lot more. However, there are men in their 20s who continue to have affairs with attractive women. Guys, please understand that I'm not stating that a man's prime is superior to a woman's. Females may only experience their peak fertility and beauty for 10 years. Men will do anything to acquire a woman who is exquisite in terms of youth and beauty, yet their attractiveness is far more potent than a man's. While a woman's reproductive prime will always burn considerably hotter and brighter than a man's, it won't always last as long. By a wide margin, the hottest woman will always draw more men than the hottest man will draw women. It's a long way off. Therefore, even if a male doesn't start dating until he's 20, he still has at least 25 years left of his prime appeal, compared to about 10 or 12 years at the most for women. Additionally, males age considerably better than women do. We don't begin to lose our attractiveness until we are maybe 50 years old. As we reach our 60s, we mature gracefully and slowly, and even then, we can still have a good time with gorgeous women in their 20s. The peak of a woman's fertility ends abruptly and rapidly. For women, aging gracefully does not exist. There is no gradual transition into the next phase of their lives that causes women to abruptly decline between the ages of 28 and 30. However, the men they are getting with aren't nearly as high quality and value as the men they had access to only a few short years ago. This does not imply that they do not still receive attention from men. Yes, some 35-year-olds are still extremely gorgeous, but that woman won't ever look as good as she did at 25, and she is aware of this. Men age more attractively because of experience and difficulty than women do, because we age better psychologically as well as physically. We've matured, and we know that experience and struggle make women unattractive. While these struggles show up in men with wisdom, introspection, and intelligence, they also show up in women who have a scorned and bitter attitude. Because of this, athletes in their 40s never experience depression, although party girls do. We men never stop developing, so when we reach our 30s, we behave like mature, responsible men. Women, on the other hand, stop muttering at the age of 18, which coincides with the beginning of their peak attractiveness, and they maintain the same adolescent mindset through their 20s. However, after the male attention dwindles and eventually vanishes, they begin to mature once more. And because of this, modern women are a little more than just grown-up children. As long as guys want to hook up with them, women think like teenagers. They are compelled to behave like ladies when that occurs. But it's too late now, sadly. Even at that moment, having only recently begun to mature and grow up again, a former party girl who was 38 years old still thinks like a 23-year-old. Again, This is the reason why attractive older ladies will always go together. I've already stated that most attractive older ladies are far harder to get laid with than the 22-year-old hot chick. Men improve with age, but women do not, and women are aware of this kind of scope with a quickly dwindling desirability imprisoned in a mentality that won't let them turn back the clock. When she is confronted by reality for the fourth time that day, they visit the doctor, who gives them a prescription for several medications to help them sleep at night. That's all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It motivates me to create more content for you. See you next time. Cheers.